Hello, Barat. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Hello, Kaido. Kaido, I am on TikTok right now. Hello, everyone on TikTok. Hello, Colin. Good to see you on Kick. All right, so we're going to pick up where we left off. Good to see everyone. Bills, we're doing a speedrun. So right now we're at 1350. I'm at 1350 right now, where the speedrun rating is at. And we're going to try to push that up. Okay. Hello, Inktree Budget. Welcome. Good to see everyone. Hope all of you are doing well. Again, don't be shy to say hi. I'll say hi back. Hello, Kaido. Yeah, I cannot do virtual camera yet on TikTok. Bills, yes, I'm a GM. Yep. All right, anyway. We're gonna continue where we left off. All right, so we left off around 1350. So we're gonna push for 1400. We're gonna push for 1400. All right. Okay. So let's get started. Let's get started. Okay. So let's start up a game. All right. Okay. So let's start. Okay. So we're getting black. Let's see what he's gonna do. Hopefully e4. Then we can play our favorite opening. Okay. So it goes e4. So I suppose some of you guys have been around here, so we're doing a speed run on the Accelerated Dragon, so we will play c5, the Sicilian. Now, I encourage everyone to participate in the chat. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to, especially when I ask moves, feel free to suggest moves in the chat, because you're going to learn more from active participation. So knight c3. Now, let's go knight to c6. And by the way, even if you miss a stream, all of this will be uploaded to YouTube. But anyway, knight c6 is very often going to be our second move, and that's why I really like this opening. We almost always go for the same opening. You're a Caro and Scotch player? Okay, nice, Kaido. Caro, not a bad player, but you might easily be cramped. All right, let's see what he's going to do. He goes bishop to b5. This move is covered. He often wants to trade his bishop for the knight on c6. We don't want to make that too easy for him, so we're going to be playing the move knight to d4. So we're hitting the bishop a little bit. Let's see what he's going to do. Bishop a4, okay. But already that move looks a little bit risky to me. And I can go e6, but I also really like this move a6. So with a6, I'm already setting a little trap. Does anyone have any idea what I have in mind with this move a6? What do we think? What do I have in mind with the move a6? Thank you, Kaido, for sharing the live. I appreciate that. All right, he needs to be really careful here. He needs to be really careful. Let's see what he's going to do. Or he's going to be in a world of trouble. And guys, don't be shy to say hi. I'll say hi back. Hello, Trumdan. Knight f3, big mistake. Okay. What do we do here with black? A knight f3. I think he's losing the game as early as move number 5. All right. We're just going to go b5. If he takes, I can take this, and I hit the knight and the bishop, so that would win a piece. I could also take here first. That's also fine. But let's go ahead and go b5. That was my idea, hitting the bishop. His bishop is under attack. Let's see what he's going to do. He goes bishop e3. Okay, what do we do now? I don't want to go c4 here, because then I hang my own knight. I don't want to take, then he's fine. But instead what we do is we trade on f3 first. So then we can follow up with c4 and simply trap this bishop. So let's go ahead and take with a check. He's going to recapture with the queen. And it's kind of funny. Even though I've only made pawn moves, we're simply winning a piece here. Great job, Trumdan. Okay, he recaptures the queen. And now we go c4, trapping the bishop on b3. And he's simply losing. Goes e5, tricky move. We always have to pay attention to what our opponent is doing. He's attacking that rook in a corner. So we're simply gonna move it over. And his bishop is still getting trapped, so we're just winning a full piece here. Good job, Daniel. Appreciate you participating. He takes. Let's just recapture. Now my rook is active as well. And so we're doing great here. All right, now even though we're up a piece, we should definitely not relax. We should still try to play good chess. He goes d4. Now let's do a little en croissant. Take en croissant. You guys did not see that coming, huh? Or did you? All right, so we take en passant. He recaptures with the queen. And now, I mean, I still have to get my pieces into the game, right? Almost every piece is still on the back rank. So let's see, I'm going to queen c7. All right. And now I think I like d6 because, like I said, I want to get my pieces active. Spawn on d5 is annoying. It's stopping me from developing my knight. So let's go d6 so I can get my pieces out. All right, let's see what he's going to do. But it's clear that we're doing great here as we're up a full piece. But of course, like I said. Okay, bishop f4. I think I like the idea of taking so that I force more trades. I mean, yes, he can take. Oh, I was going to do this, but that runs into that. Very tricky. I can take, but then I'm kind of behind in development, so maybe I'll take. I mean, if I take, he's going to take. He's going to take. Maybe rook b7. Castles, king e8. I mean, I force the trade of queens. I'm up a piece, so I kind of like the idea that I'm forcing the queen trade. So let's go ahead and do this. And I still feel confident that after all of this, I will be able to get my king to safety. So he's taking, he's hitting my rook. I do not want to take, because then that falls in the queenside castles. Queenside castles. I would be in check, and I would lose my rook. So I think I'm just going to move my rook to the safe b7 square. And, okay, he's probably going to queenside castle. I'll move my king over to e8, and then I can follow with, let's say, f6. So let's move the king over and follow with f6. Yes, it might feel slightly uncomfortable for a move or two, because I have my king here. But, again, we're up a full piece, 95. I guess aiming to jump in, but now it's the time to push him back a little bit. Let's go f6. Hit the bishop. Knight c7 doesn't phase us. We go king f7. But we have to be a little bit careful. Stuff like here and rook d8. So let's see what he's going to do. Okay, he goes there. All right, I'm going to go king f7, making sure that this does not come with a check. For non-jam, well, don't be scared, Kaido. All of you are safe here under my guidance. I mean, we're up a full piece. We're up a full piece, and the queens are off the board. So we're more than safe here. Okay, he goes rook e1. Okay, can go e5, maybe he goes here. e6 also an option. He might jump in. Then e5 is an option to hit the knight. If he takes, I guess I can go rook a7. I kind of like that. I kind of like that this move comes with a tempo. We hit the knight. He has to respond to what I'm doing. Let's see what he's going to do. By the way, guys, don't be shy to say hi. Are you guys here, you know? Okay, he goes knight c7. He's hitting this, but I'm not too concerned about that. I kind of like e5. Let's go e5, because now I cut off the bishop. I am attacking the knight on c7. Hello, G. What do you mean, am I losing? I'm up a piece. I'm up a piece. +2. What is this disrespect? Okay, knight d5 on the board. Alright, I can go bishop e6 here. Or knight e7. I like knight e7. Once again, raw material, and when you're raw material, trades are good for you. So let's try to get some trades in here. Let's go knight e7. But good question. Hello, already Neff. Up a piece, but did you make any friends along the way? Well, alright, anyway. We're doing pretty well here. I can also take here. Okay, can also take here. He's going to recapture. Again, I'm up in material, so trades are fine. Let's go ahead and take. He recaptures. Let's get my bishop developed as well with tempo. And he goes rook d8. Okay, tricky move. Pinning me a little bit. Let's go ahead and take. Thank you, Dave. Okay, he takes. Now, I am pinned on the back rank, but I could perhaps go bishop to b4. Hitting this rook. If he takes, I'm going to take. He could maybe take. I can also go g5 and bishop g7. Also looks pretty fine. Maybe yes here. Rook. I think I'll just go here. I mean, I forced the trade. Kind of like that idea. Yeah, let's just go bishop b4 because it forces the trade. All right, I hit this. I hit this. I mean, yes, he can take, but I'll take. Just for fun says bad move. Okay, why is that a bad move? Hello, am I a grandmaster? What is this disrespect? What is this disrespect? All right, let's go ahead and take. The sheer and utter disrespect. All right, he takes. All right, I like king g8 here because his rook does not have a lot of good squares, and I stop him from going here. Okay, rook h5, only safe square. He goes rook h4, but he was not paying attention. It's okay, Pigly. Yes, I'm a grandmaster. My username is literally GM Benjamin Bok. Do you think I was faking my username? But, well, we just go ahead and take the rook. All right, good win. Okay, so let's have a quick look at this opening. All right, so e4, we go c5. Just for fun, please say psych. Psych. There you go. All right, knight c3, knight c6, bishop b5. So like I said, he's trying to take, and that's why the best move here is knight to d4. I have bishop b5, by the way, covered in the course, bishop a4. And here I like the move a6 because we're really setting up some trickery with b5 and c4. You have to go d3. b5 is not the big issue, but he has to make sure that I don't get c4 in as well. All right, so he goes here, but this just loses the game because now I go b5 here, I take, and c4, and his bishop is simply getting trapped. All right, he goes here, hitting my rook, but I just move my rook over, and his bishop is still getting trapped. All right, he takes, I recapture here en passant. And like I said, since raw material, I kind of like to get some trades in here, so I played d6. I took, now yes, I understand that I lose the right to castle. I'm facing a bit of initiative, but we're in an endgame, and we're up a piece. So when you're on material, trades are good for you. Quick question for everyone in the chat. Rook takes b2 might look like a free pawn, but why is this move a blunder? What do we do here with white? White to play. What does white do here? This move would be a blunder. Why? Let's see who's paying attention. Indeed, good job everyone. Here white has queen side castles and we lose a full rook. Yep, devilish little trap there. So just rook b7. He checks here, but yeah, he has a bit of initiative, but it's really not enough. I mean, we're just up a full piece. So I go here, hit the knight. Once again, trades are good for us. So go for the trade, take here. I take, and g5, good move. G5, good move. Nothing wrong with that. But again, since we're on material, I really like trade. So that's why I went here. He takes, I take. He takes here. But now his rook is really running out of good squares. He probably had to go here. The only good safe square. But then I was going to go g5 to cut off the escape route along the 5th rank, hitting his bishop. And if the bishop moves, then let's say bishop g4. And I think he's simply getting trapped. So that was my plan. But he goes rook h4. Giving away the rook in one move. All right, so good stuff. We get another win. We move it to 1360. So let's go ahead and play another one. All right, and we're playing with white. We're playing against I don't care. Okay, anyway, let's go d4. Because with white, we're playing the Queen's Gambit. So let's go c4. And he goes e6. Queen's Gambit declined. Let's go knight c3, develop the knight, and increase the pressure. What is that? G6. Okay, somebody is spamming the chat on YouTube. Please do not do that. Brett Parker, E4, nothing wrong with that. If that's what you know, keep playing it. Thoughts on Taimanov versus Accelerated Dragon? Taimanov is a different Sicilian. You cannot play the Taimanov against the Accelerated Dragon. It's just the Accelerated Dragon is one Sicilian. Taimanov another one. Alright, anyway, let's see what is going on. Hello, Rambo Roby. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing? Anyway, G6, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that move. Let's go Knight of 3. He's probably going to do this. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's just... It's really ugly to create all of these weak squares. But let's see what he's going to do. Okay, he goes bishop g7. Now, I can go bishop g5 or bishop f4. I generally want to get my bishop out of the pawn chain. So let's see. G5. Thanks Kaido for the 20 roses on TikTok. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. G5. I mean, maybe 97. Okay, let's go bishop f4. Bishop. We put the bishop on an active square. A6. Okay. Can take, but he recaptures. Let's just go E3. Just continue our development. Knight of 6. Okay. Let's go bishop E2. I just continue my development. Make some odd moves. Okay, let's castle as well. And he goes knight bd7. Now, perhaps at some point he wants to take and then follow with b5. I could consider c5 here. Definitely an option. Maybe like here. I don't know how I mean, although I think if he gets these moves in, he's actually doing kind of okay. So I'm considering to do this. Let's go with c5. We really grab a space advantage here. Because his bishop is really stuck. Bishop is really stuck on c8. So let's see. Not that easy for black to crawl out of this. But let's see what he's going to do. Okay, he goes c6. Okay. Let's go h3, so that in case he goes here, I can always draw my bishop back. But now I can also go forward. He goes b6. Let's go b4, solidify the pawn chain. He takes, but that's definitely a big positional mistake. What he should have done is go a5, put more pressure on the chain. I go here and then bishop a6. Because once again, this bishop was really bad, but that would at least give him a path to trade it off. So he takes, we recapture now. And again, this bishop was really stuck. Bishop on c8. Okay, he goes a5, trying to trade it off, but it's a little late. Because now I go here, and he's having a really awkward time to defend that pawn on c6. So let's see what he's going to do. But it's really weird on TikTok. On TikTok, it's saying, your live is not eligible for recommendation and is restricted in search results because it contains unoriginal or reproduced content. That's not at all the case. This is my own stream. Like... Why? I think it's maybe saying that because I don't have my camera on there or something, but that's just that's just disappointing. Because it is me. I mean, maybe, I don't know what I can do. He moved, he played bishop to a6, but what can we do now? Now we can just go ahead and take this pawn over here because my bishop is protected. I have streamed on TikTok before. He takes, wait 1 second, he takes, obviously we're going to recapture. Right, but the thing is it does not allow me to add my camera. So, yeah, that's tough. All right, he goes rook c8, hitting my queen. Let's just move the queen back to the safe a4 square. All right, he goes there. But that doesn't do much. Let's go rook ab1, putting the rook on the open file. Perhaps at some point we can come in and say hello. There's knight e4. Makes sense. Let's activate the other rook. Put it on c1. Perhaps at some point I can push this pawn up. But for now, don't want to allow knight b6. I was thinking about rook b7, but then I thought, okay, he can maybe do this with a double attack on my queen and the rook. So that's why I didn't do that. All right, so let's see. All right, I know the TikTok stream is not ideal. Ugh. But it's tough, it's tough. All right, doing my best here. All right, what's up, Caleb? Good to see you. All right, H6, that doesn't do much. Wait, is that the OG Caleb? C6 here. Let's go Rook B7. Put some pressure on the horse. Yes, sir. Okay, good to see you. Good to see you, Caleb. Hope all is well. Long time no see. Rook B5 doesn't do much. Mm-hmm. All right, so knight f6. I think now is the time to push this pawn. Let's go C6. Yes, we're also on TikTok, Caleb. I'm also live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. So just letting everyone know. If you want to say hi on a different live stream. Oh, okay. Good question. Good question, Surf. I like the Accelerated Dragon much better because it's a lot easier to play because you almost always go for the setup with knight c6 and g6 because it's good against almost anything white does. All right. Anyway, that's up to you, G1. You can watch wherever you want. All right. Let's see what he's going to do. He plays queen to c8. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Because now I cannot push, because that would hang the rook. Alright, so maybe rook b1. Preparing c7 again. Yeah, let's go rook b1. So that then I can play c7 on the next turn. Okay, let's see what he's going to do. I'm a Jeep. Yeah, I'm also on TikTok. It just exclamation mark TikTok in the chat. Alright, thank you. Yeah, and I'm live on GM Benjamin Bok, by the way. So feel free to check that out. And like I said, don't be shy to say hi. There's an issue on TikTok. It thinks I'm like, this is not a real live stream, and that's why they're kind of blocking it right now, which is annoying. Because that's suppressing visibility. Which is just a typical Matrix attack. Typical Matrix attack by TikTok. Suppressing my views. Yeah, Caleb, I mean, they're doing terrible. They're doing terrible. Hello, Brazilian. Hello. Hello, Mr. Hype. Excuse me. Lol. No. They're doing terrible, Caleb. Let's not talk about that. I did play myself, Mr. Hype, but apparently winning one title Tuesday was a crime. They had to put me in Proctor as the early contingent of players. All right, G5 hitting the bishop. All right, maybe here. Okay, bishop H2 also fine. I'll go. Slightly annoying. Let's go bishop B5. G5 not a bad move. Yeah, Arena King. Yeah. Oh, so Brazilian Monk, you enjoyed the team arena, yeah? Hello, rated below 600. Welcome. Okay, let's see what he's gonna do. Knight e8. Okay. Can do this, but he's got this at the end. Okay. Okay, not a bad move. He's all of a sudden finding good moves. Interesting. Let's go rook b8. Can still take though, and then queen a6, but I'll go queen c2 back, or maybe queen b5. Either way, we're doing very well. We're up a pawn with a good position. Okay, takes. Let's recapture. Queen a6 only move. Yep. Okay, let's go queen b5. Takes a recapture. And then this might drop as well, but you know, he's fighting back a little. Let's take. If he takes, I think I will recapture with the knight. Could take it the pawn. Take here, take. Not that easy, not that easy. Alright, he takes. I'm voice cracking, what do you mean? Alright, let's take with the knight. Bruh, what? What do you mean, Mr. Hype? Bruh, dude, Mr. Hype is such a troll. He even trolls me. The Hype Man even trolls me. No, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. No worries, no worries. Trolling is fine. We support free speech here. Imagine, Mr. Hype. You probably can't imagine what this is like, Mr. Hype, but imagine going into a chat, saying one thing, and getting banned. I mean, I'm sure that's never happened to you, but imagine. So fortunately, we do have free speech here. We do have free speech. All right, rook b7. Take. Let's take the pawn. Exactly, Caleb. Free speech. Hell yeah. Am I an optimist? Yep. All right, let's go ahead and trade. Am I an optimist? Sigh. What is he thinking about? Obviously, he has to take. Caleb. And yes, I will also bring him the... Caleb. But yeah, free speech. Free speech. We support free speech here. Dude, what is he thinking about? Obviously, he has to recapture. Why is he... Okay, he takes finally. Okay, let's go f3. Let's push him back. Now my king can enter. My knight can jump to c3. I kind of like... lots of good moves, but I like knight c3. Because eventually I want to go a4. Maybe knight b5. And just slowly but surely push to the win. Maybe at some point king f2 is good. Now we're up 2 pawns. So we're just slowly but surely... am I an optimist innately? I mean, I definitely wouldn't call myself a pessimist, so I guess. Alright, he goes king of 8. Let's go... Maybe a4, knight b5. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. Let's go a4. And then knight b5, and once again, we slowly but surely push him back. What about you, Mr. Hype? Alright, let's see what he's going to do. We're up 2 pawns. Obviously, things looking great. I am trying, but we're just pushing him away slowly but surely. We're not necessarily going for we're going for a very controlled win, if that makes sense. I'm doing my best, but he's playing well. He's playing well. But he's not okay. He disconnected. All right, let's see what he's gonna do. All right, let's see what he's gonna do. Caleb, probably von Boston, but his career was pretty short though. All right, so all of this makes sense. Plays the Queen's Gambit, a climb, but G6, a very odd move. Generally, you want to go like Knight F6 and Bishop G7, but it's not super duper terrible or anything. But I just went for a very slow approach with Knight out, Bishop out. Now, one of the main reasons why I do not like the Queen's Gambit for black and why I teach my students the Slav with C6. So that it's still easy to bring this bishop out to F5, right? I don't like E6 because you're blocking your bishop. It's fine, but you have to know how to deal with this bishop. And we'll go over that very soon. I go here, he goes here, I go here, here, bishop F4. Bring the bishop out to a nice and active square. After bishop F4, then we go E3, he goes here. But I feel like here, at some point, black should have perhaps taken, followed by B5. I move my bishop, bishop E7, knight B7, and it's not so bad. Thought that's what he had to do. But he goes here, and now I went for this approach with C5. Because now this bishop is really kind of stuck. It's really stuck in between its own pawns. So he went here, I played H3. I can always draw my bishop back. He goes here, here, and now an instructive moment. I think he really had to go A5 and then A3, bishop A6, trade those bishops off. That being said, I have a really instructive response here. I can take and then B5, which is pretty typical. All the pawns are in contact with one another, and if he takes, then I have C6 hitting the knight. Afterwards, I can take here, and apparently white's just crushing. Hello, Colin. Good to see you in the chat. Yeah, that was a very weird mistake by Nepo. It was a very weird mistake by Nepo. But I guess he was just not in his best shape. But it's yeah, it's kind of unfortunate for Nepo. Yeah, because now he's not making the candidate, so we'll see if he'll be able to come back. Nepo. Alright, but in the game, he took and now played here, but now he's just really stuck. He played bishop a6, so finally trading off the bishops, but it came at a high price, because now he's simply hanging this pawn. So he goes down a pawn, and I have a protected passer. So he goes here, I go here, he goes rook back, which is kind of passive, he goes 94, activate the other one, and at some point I'm simply going to push this pawn. He goes here, rook b7, push, I go here, protecting the rook, so then I can push again. He goes here, moving the bishop, or rook b8, and slowly but surely we push up the board. He traded, but his endgame is just losing. He's down 2 pawns. So somebody asked in the chat, like, am I not trying my hardest? I mean, I am, but sometimes it just takes a while, right? Sometimes you have to push your opponent away slowly but surely. But, you know, if you're down material, trades are not the solution. A4, and here he disconnected. But it's just completely lost because he's down 2 pawns. Hello, long live Kirk. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Okay. Next game. All right, and we're playing with black against GM Rashan. We're playing against the Grandmaster. Bok has a soothing voice. Thank you. All right, against E4, we play C5, the Sicilian. Knight f3. Now, who has been paying attention? Who has been paying attention? What do we do here? My username is Bok Accelerated Dragon. We want to play the Accelerated Dragon. What do we do? Come on. Active participation. G6 is the Hyper Accelerated Dragon. That's the alternative. It's the Hyper. another option, but my main recommendation is the move knight c6. Great job, great job. Excellent, everyone. He goes d4. Whenever you see d4 in the Sicilian, you take. He's going to recapture. And now we go g6, followed by bishop g7, the Accelerated Dragon, knight c3. And I feel like this could be one of the very first games where we can really show the Accelerated Dragon and its potential. Bishop g7, attacking the knight. Bishop e3. So here's the thing. After g6, your next move is almost always going to be bishop g7. And then here, your next move is almost always going to be knight f6, developing the knight, putting some pressure here. Let's see if he's going to try to go for the Yugoslav attack with moves like f3, queen d2, and maybe bishop c4. Then we can really show the potential of the Accelerated Dragon and why I teach you guys to play this opening. He goes f4. Okay. So let's think. Maybe he wants to take, let's say, a castle, which is a very normal move. He might take... Whoa, thanks to Caroline. Thanks to Caroline for the rate of 20. Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Appreciate the rate. We're doing a speedrun right now, so all of you came in at a great time. So I'm playing some games as we go along. So right now my rating is 1368, and we're going to try to push that up all the way to like 2000 or maybe even 2500. But thank you so much for the rate. Appreciate it. And thanks, Spice, for giving a shout out. All right, so a good castle here, but maybe white can take. And if I recapture, then pawn e5, hitting my knight. And I don't really want to go knight e8 because that's a little passive. So I might go d6 here to stop white from taking, and then e5. All right. Okay, so let's see what white is going to do. But with the move d6, now I also open on my bishop. So I have ideas of knight g4 potentially, hitting the bishop and increasing the pressure on the knight. Okay. All right, so he goes e5 anyway, but we have just prepared for that. So now I can take, by the way, knight g4 also a move, hitting the bishop, but the bishop might just drop back. So I think I'm going to take, white can take. I think I will trade. Wait, so take. If I take, white recaptures, I take here, and then if white takes, I can go knight g4, hitting this and this, which looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and take. If white recaptures, now it's a lot easier. We can simply take the pawn. So let's go ahead and do that. And now we're doing really well as we're simply up a pawn. Hello, Isa. Yes. Notice short. The last stream was pretty short because I had to run because I had to do a lesson. And as you guys know, I take my lessons very seriously, but that's why we were continuing. So bishop e5 check. Let's go bishop d7 to block. All right, he takes. Let's recapture with the queen. Okay, so knight db5. Thank you, Captain. Appreciate that. The shank charges a lot. I'm not as expensive as the shank. All right. I think I'll just castle, but then I might hang this. How tall am I? I'm like 7'2". All right, he can take castles. That's our castles. Go king c8. Knight d4 perhaps. On a serious note, I'm 6'3". I'm 6'3". All right. Can also go queen c6. I might like queen c6 better because I hit this. Let's go queen c6. I like that move better, hitting the pawn on g2. And perhaps I can go knight to c4. All right, but actually 6'3" is not that much taller than the average person in the Netherlands. All right, let's see what he's gonna do. Lamau, you're so tough, bro. Thank you. Caleb says on TikTok, Ben is not 7'2". He's lying. He's more like 4'3". All right, knight takes a7, hitting the queen. All right, let's go ahead and take the pawn. Hit the rook. Is my birthday command broken? It's actually not, Joe Brune. To tell you the truth. Okay, rook g1, big mistake. Big mistake. Big mistake. It's not broken. It's just set to today's date. It's set to today's date. Like to whatever day it is today, if that makes sense. So tomorrow it'll say November 10th. Yep, indeed. Rook g1. Big mistake is now we have knight f3 check, and he's losing a ton of material. So now we're going to have to force to give up his queen. Alright, he takes. Let's recapture. I have Bok stream up on 4 tabs on 4 platforms because he is so much aura. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wait. Hall of Fame Glazer. That funny nickname. Alright, so good win here. Alright, so let's analyze. So e4. I really like the Accelerated Dragon. It's been the opening I've been teaching to pretty much all of my students at this point. And by the way, credit to where credit is due. This is an opening. I actually got this from Diane because he was teaching it in his speedruns. And I was like, hey, you know, that's a really great and effective opening, especially for beginner and intermediate players. So then I started teaching it myself as well. So e4, I like c5, and then against almost everything white does, we can go knight c6 and g6. The setup is pretty good. By the way, really credit where credit is due. Daya told me he got it from Caden Trough. Thank you to Obtushi for the raid with 7. Thank you so much. Another raid. Dang, everyone is sending their raids over to me. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, so what do we do here is we go knight c6. And against d4, we take and then g6. By the way, so a couple of things. If you're an absolute beginner, if you're watching the stream and you're an absolute beginner, I recommend that you meet e4 with e5. Just play symmetrical. And then you meet d4 with d5. However, if you want to switch it up a little bit, especially if you get around 1,000 or maybe a little bit higher, then at some point I really recommend looking into the Accelerated Dragon, because you avoid the symmetry, and it's a really easy opening with knight c6, g6, and bishop g7. Okay, so knight f3, we go knight c6, d4, we take, and then g6, follow with bishop g7. Once again, it's good against almost everything white does. Knight c3, we go bishop g7, bishop e3, and now we develop the other knight. So this is almost always going to be our next move. So he goes f4, tricky move. Now, like I said, I was initially considering to castle. Oh, thank you, Obtuse. Yeah, of course. I mean, I very rarely stream anything other than chess, so but thank you so much for the raid, appreciate it. Hope you had a great stream. And once again, welcome to you, welcome to all the raiders. Really appreciate it. Okay, so here white said he was to follow with e5, and my knight did not have a good square, and I had to go back to e8, which is why I played d6, taking the sting out of the e5 push. Now my opponent decided to play it anyway, but now we just take. He recaptured, now I take, and I just win a pawn, which is why we were calculating knight takes c6. I can take right away, but then white takes, and I lose the right to castle. My king would be stuck in the middle. We don't really want that. So instead, I would have taken here first with check. White would recapture, and then I take. And if white takes now, attacking my knight, now we have knight g4, hitting the bishop and the pawn, and so we win a pawn. I hope all of that makes sense, by the way. If anything does not make sense, please, let me know in the chat, and I'll be happy to explain more. Good to see you, G-Photos. G-Photos, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Well, E5 Hall of Fame Glazer still makes sense, but I was really surprised that he played C6. But G-Photos, you know it's not my birthday, right? Alright, he takes, now we take, and we win a pawn. Alright, so here. Yeah, great question in the chat. What is the difference between the Accelerated Dragon and normal Dragon? We'll go over that very soon. So bishop e5, we block with bishop d7. Alright, he takes, we recapture, knight e5, not a bad move. hitting this. Also, if he would take, I cannot recapture the knight because he has the fork. But I like this move, queen c6, creating the counterattack. Where's the microwave? I have a microwave here. Do you guys want to see the microwave? Let me know. Yeah, here he just had to castle or queen e2. After which, I'm much better. I would even say winning. But he made a big mistake by taking. Now we take here, hitting the rook. Rook f1, strictly the only move. Because here's the thing. You always have to pay attention to your opponent's threats. This is not my only threat, hitting the rook. My other threat is here. So he had to go rook f1, but instead he goes here. And now knight f3, check. And yeah, by the way, I'm not actively building the academy anymore. But maybe at some point I will start up my own academy or something like that again. And yeah, he had to give up the queen, which is obviously completely losing. He went here, but now I would have taken here, winning even more material. All right, so good stuff. We get another win. All right. Great question in the chat. Somebody was asking me, what is the difference between the Accelerated Dragon and the normal Dragon? Apocalypse saying, I love these streams. I always play the Modern Defense or Accelerated Dragon, and it's cool to see. Yeah, you're well. My pleasure, Apocalypse. So here's the thing. There's not a super big difference between the Accelerated Dragon and Hyper Accelerated Dragon. So the Accelerated Dragon arises after, in both cases you meet e4 with c5. And really the point of c5 is that you stop white from putting a second pawn in the middle, because when they do so, you get rid of it. After knight f3, the Hyper Accelerated Dragon arises after g6. It will very often lead to the same thing, because let's say white takes, we can still take knight takes and go knight c6, and now we're in the Accelerated Dragon again. We're just through a different move order. So often there's no difference. However, let's say you start with knight c6, right? Like I said, if white goes d4, takes, we're in the Accelerated Dragon that you could reach through two different move orders, either start with g6 or knight c6. But with the move knight c6, you do allow the move bishop e5, the Rosso Limo. This is not a big problem. We're going to play g6 anyway, followed by bishop g7. However, if for whatever reason you get tired of the Rosso Limo and you want to avoid it, that's when you can play g6, because now bishop e5 doesn't make much sense. It's not attacking anything. However, g6 allows some other options. First and foremost, it allows d4. And now queen takes, attacking the rook in a corner right away. So that's one big difference. The other big difference is that white can play c3 here, followed by d4, which is a little bit different than c3 on move number 2. Because here I recommend knight f6. I hope that makes sense. Does all of that make sense to everyone? If anything is unclear, please feel free to let me know in the chat. I hope I'm not like overloading all of you guys with information. But I hope that makes sense. Hello, Caleb. Good to see you. Hello, BDH Chess. Good to see you in the chat. BDH Chess. Huh. All right. Yeah, good question. What is the best response when that queen is attacking? Yes. Yes. Okay, so just to make things clear, my main recommendation is knight c6. I don't like the hyper as much because of that line. But if you do want to play the hyper, okay, here's the thing. I only really recommend the hyper if you don't like the Rosso Limo. If you have a problem with the Rosso Limo, then play the hyper. But if white does go into this, you should play knight f6, because you develop the knight and save the rook. And then if white goes e5, you have knight c6 developing this knight with tempo as well. But and then, okay, then go queen a4, for example. You go knight e5. Black is fine in all of these lines, but they can be a little tricky. Anyway, we get a nice win and move up to 1376. Let's move on to the next game. All right, so we get white in this game. Let's go d4, because with white we're doing a speedrun on the queen's gambit. So he goes g6. Now, this is called the modern defense. I don't recommend this move really, because now he's allowing us to put 2 pawns in the middle. And what's better than 1 pawn in the middle? 2 pawns in the middle. So bishop g7. Now we go knight f3, developing the knight. Let's see what he's going to do. So this position could, by the way, be reached through 2 move orders. If you go e4, g6, d4, you get the same position. Okay, so he goes e6. I guess aiming to follow up. You know what's better than 3 pawns and 2 pawns? I mean, I could have gone for like the connect 4, to be fair. But I like knight f3, and the reason why I like knight f3 is because most people go d6, and then I really like this line with bishop c4. Anyway, he goes e6. You know what? I'm feeling aggro. Let's go for it. Let's go h4. c6. Let's go for it. I mean, he's making all of these weird moves that are just not doing anything. Goes d5. Okay, he's attacking the pawn. Let's just develop and defend it. Yeah, he could go a6 as well. Put everything on the light squares. Let's see if that is what he's going to do. But a big shout out to Joe. Big shout out to Joe. Commissioner of the Collegiate Chess League. I joined Joe today as we were covering SLU, my alma mater, against Mizzou. Was a lot of fun. And because I was there, SLU crushed Mizzou. Coincidence? I think not. All right. Let's develop the bishop to an active square. 13-3. That was rough. Coach Karila is not going to be happy with that. Anyway, let's develop the bishop. We're doing pretty well here. Knight f6. Okay, he's hitting the pawn. So I think now, I guess it is, yeah, Joe. I guess it might be like the biggest win ever in SLU Mizzou CCL history. I guess it is, yeah. I can take. All right. Lots of options here. Let's go h6. Okay, he goes bishop f8. Okay, this pawn's under attack as well. Let's go bishop d3, defend it. Okay, what he's doing makes some sense. Let's see what he's going to do. It's not the end of the world for him that this pawn is on h6. It's a little bit annoying, but it's definitely manageable for black. He goes knight e7. All right, but now, ooh, wait. Okay, we can go bishop g5, but I really like this move, bishop e5. I'm attacking the knight, and I think he only has 1 move to hang on. I think he only has 1 move to not have to resign right away. What is black's only move? To stay in the Bok? You are too good. Thank you. Yeah, you're really living up to your username, Hall of Fame Glazer. Knight eg8, only move, but now his pieces are really stuck. His pieces are really stuck. Right, Mr. Glazer? Let's go queen d2. So I can maybe castle. At some point, by the way, I might take. Bishop d6. But bishop d6 is a mistake. What can we do now? What can we do now? Why to play and win material? And it's actually important which move you choose here. Why to play and win material? Let's see who's paying attention. So now the big question is, everyone in the chat, do we take on d6 or on f6? What do we think? Well, you are already my fan, Hall of Fame Glazer. So here's the thing. This move does not win material. Because if we do that, he has d takes e4, creating a counter threat. However, we take here. He's forced to recapture with either the knight or the queen, and then we go e5 with the fork. By the way, I learned the other day that either is the British pronunciation and either is more American. Is that true? G Photos, can you confirm? Hall of Fame Glazer reminds me of an infamous hype man. Either, yeah, people say either way, yes. All right, e5 with the fork. By the way, I just realized this move does not win a piece. But it still he's still ending up in a very tough position. Indeed, he has 94. Now, I could take with the knight. I couldn't take with the bishop. Because he's hitting my queen. I like taking with the bishop, because then I end up with my knight here, and the knight can really do some damage. So let's take with the bishop. Yeah, true. But at least we win a pawn. At least we win a pawn with a really good position. And we get some really nice squares for our knights, indeed. No, because if I take on d6... Again, if I take here, he does have d takes e4, so I actually don't win material. But here, at least I win a pawn. Hello, Diligence. A few Native Americans saying either. I use either, but I'm... Okay. Okay, but now he's just losing material. I mean, my bishop's under attack, I can just move it, and we're up a piece. And he just does not have enough. The bishop on c8 hounds you. Huh. Oh, because you used to play the Caro? No, wait, why? Why Hall of Fame Glazer? Why does the bishop on c8 haunt you? In New Zealand we speak a mix of British and American English. It's so confusing. Interesting. Okay, he goes f6, trying to break free. I can take, obviously. Let's go a3. Try to push him away, because this pin was annoying me a little bit. I hear either quite a bit in the US too. Okay. Oh. All right. Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and take. If I open up the position, it will be easier for me to convert my material advantage into a win. Let's castle. My king is safe here. He goes g5. Okay, he's trying to go for some cheese here with g4, hitting my knight, and then bishop g5. So I'm going to go king b1, because now after g4 I can move my knight, bishop g5, and it only attacks my queen, not my king as well. Joe says I like cheese. You know, Joe, whenever I get cheese, I always get the Gouda, the Gouda cheese, because it's Dutch. Let's go 95. Hit this. All right. Northern says I love cheese. It's amazing. Nice. Gouda is amazing. All right, takes. Let's recapture. G4 says in Philly we like cheese whiz. All right, bishop d7. All right, let's hit the pawn. It's simply going to drop. Hello, Lord Gus. Once again, guys, it's not my birthday, but let's go ahead and take. All right, he castles. We're up a piece, so let's offer the trade. Queen g7, yes. Google search says either is American and either is British. Really? Okay, queen c5 hitting this. But now we can just go ahead and take the pawn. And now this h-pawn is pretty close to promotion. All right, let's see what he's going to do. He's probably going to take, and there he goes. Let's go rook df1. I want to keep this rook here. Because here's the thing, very often you have to choose, right? There's often two rooks you can move to a specific square. But my h-rook is pretty useful here, as it's supporting this h-pawn. Now let's go rook f7. Because now we're ready to do some damage on the 7 rank. Hello, Fame Glazer. What is CC? Does anyone in the chat know what is CC? Can anyone tell me? All right, d4 hitting my knight. CC is chess club, crowd control. Can people tell me what is CC? All right, if I take, he's got here, so I'm gonna go knight e4, making the knight say hello as well. Carbon copy. Everyone, give it your best guess. What is CC? All right, well, let's jump in. Check. Chess credit card, closed captioning, coin collector. I can take and take, which is good. can also just take. I like this though. I like this because I see a funny line. I see a funny line. Let's go ahead and take. And if he takes, I can always recapture with my bishop, keeping my king safe. I'm going to tell you how this game is going to end. He's going to take. I will do this. He's going to do this. I'll give a check. And then I fork him. Like, this is going to happen 100%. Oh. Alright, well, let's recapture. Correspondence chess. Take, take. Sorry for those who are getting hit by an ad. Alright, queen d4. Let's push up this pawn. It's very close to promotion. Clan chat. Go to kick. Yeah, by the way, if you're getting hit with an ad, you can also always go over to kick because there's no ads on kick. Let's go ahead and check. Okay, stick with the queen. And now we're simply going to get a new queen and the game is about to be over. He takes. Okay, check. If you have a pass pawn, just push it and promote. As simple as that. All right. Okay, so good stuff. We get a nice win with white. Okay, so let's see. So he played the modern. Now, I don't like the modern because, yes, you go for the fianchetto, but you give white the full center. And in this game, he never really found his footing because I always have much more space. So I like the move knight f3, and I'll explain you guys why. A lot of people here will play the move d6, and here I really like the move bishop to c4. And the reason why I like bishop c4 is because it has a lot of traps. For example, some people might play bishop g4. Bishop c4, you're playing for cheese, absolutely. Bishop g4 is a mistake. What do we do here? Why is bishop g4 losing? Indeed. Good job. Good job. Everyone, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Feel free to participate in the chat. We're all here to learn. What do we do? Indeed, we sacrifice the bishop. Exactly. We sacrifice the bishop because after black recaptures, now we have knight g5 check. Checking the king. We get our bishop back. And this king is very safe. With this square very weak, our queen can come in as well. And we're winning. Alright, so bishop g4 is one move that loses. Bishop g4 is one move that loses. Another move that loses is knight d7. Why does this move lose? Some people might play this in the modern. Why is this move bad? Can anyone tell me? What do we do here? How do we punish knight to d7? Hello everyone on YouTube as well. Appreciate all of you. Here indeed, we also sacrifice the bishop. We have a lot of tactics connected with this move. Bishop takes f7. And if he takes, then check. So move the king back. And then knight e6. And we win the queen, which is trapped. By the way, it gets even worse if he goes here. Because then we have checkmate on one. I actually won a game like this once. So it's a very tricky line. It's a good line, in my opinion. It's been played by some of the best players in the world. Like Magnus and Hikaru. Like it's a legitimate line. And it has a lot of traps. And then last thing, if they go knight c6 here, I still like knight g5. Because we hit this. And if they go e6, then d5. Trying to blast things open. And if they take, then knight takes f7. Black is losing once again. Because if they take, then queen takes d5. And they're getting checkmated. So, if you ever face the modern, I really like this line. Wait, what? Wait, you guys saw that? It hit my queen for a second. Or maybe it was just on my end. I like this line with knight f3 and bishop c4. And if they go knight f6, hitting the pawn, then you have to defend it with queen e2. Let's say castle, so you go e5, takes, hitting the knight. Let's say it goes here, then I think h3 and white's doing pretty well. So I hope that makes sense. But he goes e6. Against e6, I really like just attacking, so I went h4. I think he had to play h6, which is a pretty typical response. Hello, Pokeruga. Good to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Hope you have a great week ahead of you. And good to see you in the chat. Alright, so the point behind h6 is that now you can meet h5 with g5. Alright, but he goes here. Okay, we just push. Defend the pawn. And now we can really try to do some damage on all of these weak dark squares. So I went here. I can maybe take, but I also really liked h6 and just bishop d3. And now bishop e5, and he's really stuck. How to respond to h-pawn attack when you fiend shadow kingside? If you play the Accelerated Dragon, I will teach you how. If you play the Modern or the Pierce, I cannot help you. But if you play the Accelerated Dragon, I will help you. He goes there, we go queen d2. He goes here, but it's losing material, because now we take. And now, okay, we win a pawn. And okay, now we just win a piece. Well, I mean, I can help you, but it becomes a lot more difficult. But in the Accelerated Dragon, I can legitimately help you. Courses, hello, Hall of Fame. All right, and so we're up a piece. He goes here, trying to go g4, follow bishop g5, but we just castle. Here we go knight e5. He takes, we're just up a piece. And the rest is not too difficult. Very often it's just a matter of slowly but surely converting the advantage. Grabbing a couple pawns here and there. All right, we take, go here. All right, here. Wait, did he do a video on Nepo and Hans? All right, rook f7, and now I threaten to take here, because then I can take here. Oh, okay, here, 94. Check, we take, and we simply win more material. We're up 2 minor pieces, and this pawn is about to promote. So the rest, obviously, was very simple. All right, so we win a nice game with white. Let's move on to the next game. All right, okay, we're playing white once again. Let's go d4. Because once again, with white, we're doing a 1d4 speedrun. c5. Which is a mistake, because now he allows me to grab more space with the move d5. He goes e6. Sorry, d6, my bad. I can go e4 here, I can go c4. Kind of depends what you're into, but let's go e4. Let's grab more space in the center. He goes knight f6, hitting the pawn. And since it's under attack, let's go knight to c3. g6. Okay, he's going for a bit of a... I kind of regret now not going c4, knight c3, and e4, grabbing really a lot of space, but this is also fine. Let's give this check over here, because it can be slightly awkward for him to meet. He goes bishop d7. And now I like this move a4, because if he takes, I can recapture. And his knight on b8 will be a little bit cramped. Okay, he goes here. Let's go knight f3, continue our development. a4 is so tough. Okay, let's castle. He castles as well. And let's go bishop to f4. Maybe at some point we can get e5, and he goes b6, but I think that is a positional mistake, because now this pawn on a7 is kind of backwards, meaning that it can easily be attacked, but it cannot easily be defended. Hello, real Alex. Good to see you. All right. Let's go queen d2. Line up the queen and the bishop, put it on a good square. Maybe at some point I want to push for e5. Goes knight g4. Good move, aiming to go here. Honestly, maybe I should have gone h3, but okay, what to do? I can also still switch to this plan, which yeah, well, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go rook a6 and rook a1. Put a lot of pressure on that pawn on a7. He takes, okay, but especially, you know, if you're an Accelerated Dragon bishop, or like this bishop is always the soul and pride of your position, you don't want to give it up. Let's recapture, because now all of these dark squares around the black king are weak. e5. All right, see you later, Poke Koruga. Good to see you in the chat. Hope all is well, and best of luck with everything you do. And I'll see you later. All right, he goes e5. Big mistake. But he's forgetting about a rule. He's forgetting about a rule. We go on croissant. Indeed, we take. Yep. He recaptures, and it's good because now we win a pawn. And his rook is under attack. Great job, everyone. So we're up a pawn with a good position. Excellent. Great job, everyone in the chat. Let's see what he's going to do. We're now up a pawn, a good position. Yeah, he's probably saying, what? What is that glitch? All right, I can go e5 here. This is kind of weak. I think I'll go e5, because then his knight also kind of jump back. My bishop on d6 is defended, so I don't have to worry about this. So let's go e5. Yes, now it's harder to take advantage of the dark squares, but e6 also pretty weak. I can go bishop queen c4, by the way, hitting this and this. This knight cannot jump back here. And my bishop is really anchored in on that d6 square. So anyway, let's see what he's gonna do, but we're doing great here. And once again, if anything is unclear, don't be shy to ask questions in the chat, because I'm more than happy to explain everything to all of you. All right, let's see what he's gonna do. Can I win the e6 pawn here? Absolutely. I mean, queen c4 is on the agenda, hitting the knight and the pawn on e6. All right, let's see what he's gonna do. All right, knight h6 back. All right, perhaps aiming to go knight f5. How will you try salvaging this position with the black pieces? It's tough. It's tough. Okay, I'm thinking about queen c4. It does allow this, but I don't think it's enough. He gets one check. I go king here. King is still pretty safe. So let's go queen c4. This pawn on e6 is really awkward to defend. So very often, yes. Very often, if you're wondering what to do, you can ask yourself a couple of questions. And one of those questions is, where are my opponent's weaknesses? And once you answer that question, the play becomes very easy. So let's ask ourselves, where are the opponent's weaknesses? e6 and a7. And then you just attack them. So rook fa1 is a great move, but also I really like this move, knight g5. Both moves are great. I think I'll go for knight g5 because I hit the rook and this pawn is simply going to drop. All right, nice east side. Yeah, I think he's losing material no matter what. All right, let's see what he's going to do, but we're doing great here. Hello everyone on YouTube as well. Hello Aridroy. Hello Ignacio. Good to see all of you guys. Hope all of you are doing well. Hope all of you are enjoying the speedrun. We're going to push the 1400 today. I think once we reach 1400, we're probably just going to call it. Am I a real GM? Knight takes e5. Okay. All right, well, we just take because it's attacking my queen, but it's just a free knight. So obviously, we just take. Thank you, G photos. All right, he goes rook e7, but yeah, he just gave up a full piece. All right, we're up a piece now. Everything is winning. Bishop f6 is good. Bishop d6 as well. Can also just go h3. Let's just play this very safe. Let's go h3. Make sure I can never get back rank checkmated. Not a bad idea. Just make sure, we never get hit by a disaster. Thank you, Lord Gus. Oh, but, right. I understand people might be confused. Like, if I'm a GM, why is my rating 1384? But that's because we're doing a speedrun. We started out at 400, and now we're at almost 1400. All right, let's activate the rook. Rook to d1. If you're on material, often, just activate your pieces, put them on better squares, create some threats, and the game will really win itself. Knight e4. We can just take. All right, yeah, let's just take. We win another pawn. All right, let's take, and we're doing great here. We're up. Yeah, just simplify. Okay, king g7. All right, this rook on a6 is feeling a little bit awkward, so I'm going to drop it back to a1 and just move it to d1 or e1. e5, hitting my rook. But I'm simply going to move it here and go after the e5 pawn, which is simply going to drop in the next couple of moves because I can attack it as much as I want, pretty much. With the rooks, with the knight, with the queen as well, if needed. So this pawn, I'm telling you, is going to disappear in the next couple of moves. Ah yeah, sorry for everyone that's getting hit by an ad. If you are getting hit by an ad, you can always go over the kick. He goes queen f8. But now we simply have knight to e6 with a fork, forcing him to give up the rook as well. So let's go throw in a check. Let's take. All right, he goes rook d2, threatening checkmate on 1 and 2. You always have to pay attention, but we can take here with check. You're welcome. You're welcome, Real Optics. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, let's go rook f4, defending against the threat of checkmate, and we're creating our own threats. Yes, but also another way to avoid the ads is to subscribe. If you have a Twitch Prime, you can subscribe for free or for a couple of bucks with a tier 1. All right, so win a nice game. I'm not bored. I'm doing all right. Okay, so win a nice game here. Let's analyze real quick. So d4, he goes c5, which is a little bit risky because now we go d5 and we get a lot of extra space. Because here I can also go c4 and knight c3. But e4 also good. Knight c3 here. All right, check and a4. I kind of like this setup. That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to apocalypse. I'm saying that is a way to avoid the ads. But that's one way to avoid it. The other way to avoid it is to go over the kick, or to YouTube, let's say. All right, so we just castle. Bishop f4, but b6 is a big mistake, because now the pawn on a7 is pretty much permanently weak. Instead of c5, there's a lot of good moves. You can go d5, for example. But here, maybe I should have gone h3 to stop knight g4. Thank you. Thank you, Lord Gus, for the prime. Appreciate it. Thank you. So it goes b6. All right, so I just played queen d2. Lining up the bishop and the queen. He went here. All right, rook a6. And no, I have no idea. I have no idea Gukesh work ethic, who that is. Thank you so much, Lord Gus. Appreciate it. All right, but this is a big mistake, as now all of these squares are always going to be weak. So I just recapture, and e5, another big mistake. I really wonder if he forgot about en passant. Probably. Have I been to Sicily? No, I have not. I have not. I've been to Italy, I've been to France, many countries, but never to Sicily. I would love to go, though. I would love to go sometime. I'd love to go to Sicily. There's also Corsica in the Mediterranean. There I would love to go. All right, so he takes. I take. Now the rook is under attack. Here, e5. This pawn on e6 is now really weak. This is a big idea, hitting this and this. Yeah, Europe, I mean, yeah, I'd say every American should at some point do a Europe trip. How many Asian countries have I visited? Quite a lot. I've been to Vietnam. The first time I went to Vietnam, the first time I went to Asia was to Vietnam when I was 13 years old. I actually played in the under 14 World Championship. That's actually where I played Danya, and he won that great game with the King March. So I've been to Vietnam. I've been to Thailand twice. I've been to Hong Kong. I've been to Indonesia. I've been to India. And I've also been to the Middle East, to like United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Oman, Saudi Arabia. That might be it. That might be it. I don't know if I've ever been to more countries in Asia. But yeah, no, I've been fortunate enough to travel a lot because of chess. What is that? All right, anyway, we go here, hit the pawn. He goes here, and now this pawn is simply dropping because we attacked the rook. We attacked this as well. But this was unnecessary because now he's just losing a full piece. And here, I probably should have done knight e4, try to jump in that way. But anything is winning at this point. Right here, just simply slowly but surely improve the position, and the win will just come to us naturally because we're up so much material. All right, another fork, winning more material. I'm in the US, Captain. Wait, what is that username? What is that username, huh? I'm in the US. It is dark out here. It is dark out here, but there's just light. All right, and obviously we're winning. Okay, so nice win, nice win. Who won the Team C League? I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and start up the next game. We have an opportunity to cross. If we win this game, we hit 1400. This might be the last game of the stream. E4. Okay, guys, what do we do? Let's see who has been paying attention. How do we meet E4? We go C5, the Sicilian. Excellent. Not E5. We go C5. Lord. Yep. Knight of 3. Who has been paying attention? What do we do here? After knight of 3, now we go... Come on, guys. No, not h5. We go knight c6. Excellent. Good job. Good job. We bring out the knight as well. All right, bishop c4. So here he's bringing out the bishop. There's a couple of things that we could do. One thing that we can do is we can go e6. E6 is fine here to block the bishop. We can also still go g6 followed by bishop g7. Nothing wrong with that either, whatever you prefer. But let's go... Fine, let's play it in the spirit of the Accelerated Dragon. I think g6 is fine, but e6 is, by the way, the move I recommend in my course. But fine, we'll deviate that. We'll deviate from that for now. Okay, so let's go g6, follow bishop g7. All right, he goes d4. What do we do once we see d4? We take. That's the whole point behind c5. It's going to recapture. And now we go bishop g7, bring the bishop out to the long diagonal, or we're going to try to do some damage. Let's see what he's going to do. He takes, and when he takes, we almost always recapture with the b pawn. Actually, d takes c6 would have been a blunder. It would have lost the game as early as move 6. Try to use your visualization here. Question everyone. Why would have d takes c6 been a game-losing blunder? Why does this move lose the game? Indeed, why does bishop takes f7, check, and if we take, we would lose the queen. So b takes c6 was forced. And he goes bishop e3, but we can take. He's got here, but I don't think it should be enough. Let's go ahead and take. It's a free pawn. Guys, do not underestimate this bishop on the long diagonal. Bishop d4, okay. I can take, he can recapture. I can throw in this check. Goes here, I can... Oh, wait, but I might have that. Yeah, I like that. I like the check. I like the check because it's really awkward to meet. I like the check because he's going to have to make some weird move like here or here. If you go c3, I think I have e5 hitting this. Like queen b3, I can take. This does not really phase us. We just move the king over. So let's go queen a5 check. Because it's a really awkward move to meet. Because he cannot block in a good way. He goes knight c3, but knight c3 loses a ton of material. Because now we can just go ahead and take the knight with check. He takes, but now we take with check. And he's losing even more stuff. He's losing the bishop as well. So it's already game over as early as move 10. Guys, I'm telling you, do not underestimate the dragon bishop. Yep, do not underestimate the dragon bishop. And he did. And now he's paying the price. Unk. I guess unk is just a play on bro. Like at some point everyone was calling each other bro. And somebody came up with the word unk. Yo, what happened to my rating? We're doing a speedrun. Okay, king there. All right, let's take the bishop with check. We're taking more material. King G1. You know what? I'm feeling very greedy. Let's keep snacking. Let's take the pawn. I could have also developed the knight, but let's go ahead and take. Yes, right. He doesn't have to do anything. If he doesn't want to resign, that's fine. H3. Okay, let's develop. At least 6 and 7 are real words. All right, let's go ahead and castle. All right, King H2. Let's go ahead and give this check. Because now we force him to make an awkward move, either king back or block, but that weakens the king. You think I'm in a winning position? Yeah, it's tough to say. All right, let's go D5, bring out our other bishop to life as well. And let's go Queen F5 with a double attack. Because now we're hitting H3 and F2. All right, but now we're really spoiled for choice. Let's go ahead and take here, checking the king. Just the step back only move. Yeah, so Foo's chess, I offer the hyper as an alternative. But my main recommendation is 2 knight c6. Okay, let's go knight h5 because he's having a really hard time defending this. We're threatening checkmate. Goes rook e2, but now we have checkmate. All right, so good stuff, everyone. And now we reach 1400. All right, good stuff, good stuff. Let's have a look at this game, but it was over very quickly. All right, so e4, what do? We go c5, knight f3. We almost always follow up with knight c6, bishop c4. And we can also go e6 here, blocking the bishop, but g6 fine as well, going for the fianchetto, the accelerated dragon setup. All right, so he goes d4. Whenever we see d4, we take. But the reason why I think g6 is perhaps a slight inaccuracy, because I think he has the move c3, followed by d4, which is a little bit awkward to meet. All right, but he goes d4. Whenever we see d4, we take. He recaptures. We go bishop g7, hitting the knight. He takes. Like I said, we almost always recapture the b pawn, because also this would have been losing the game. To the check, we have to take, and then we lose our queen. So we take with the b pawn, but bishop e3, big mistake, as he's simply hanging this pawn. And he had to go knight e2 here. Bishop d4, queen a5, best move, because he doesn't have a good way to block this. Like, he has to go king f1, but he doesn't really want to do that at all. c3, by the way, I was thinking e5 here. Yeah, because I hit the bishop, I hit this as well. If he goes here, he loses a full rook, which is really a lot. But he goes here, he loses a knight. And now also a bishop, and it's just completely over, because we're up 2 minor pieces and also a couple of pawns. Alright, so we just develop. And yeah, when you're up a lot of material, it's really simple. You just develop, create little threats, and your opponent is simply not going to be able to defend against your threats, because he doesn't have pieces to defend himself with. So we take, we go here, and now we got the checkmate. All right, so great stuff. We reached 1400. And I think on that node, we're probably gonna chill again. All right, so yeah, hope all of that makes sense, everyone. Hope all of that makes sense. So if anyone has any more questions, feel free to ask them right now. All right, Apocalypse, shout out to your friend. If the bishop was on e2, no, I'd still go b takes c6. As a rule of thumb, you go b takes c6. Now, as I might have said before, I had a course come out in the Accelerated Dragon a while ago, so I hope this speedrun serves as a nice supplement to the course. As you can see it being played out in real games. Yeah. Thank you, Isai. Really happy to hear that. But I hope that the speedrun in and of itself is also useful to everyone. All right, so tomorrow the World Cup continues. We have some pretty interesting matches lined up. We have, let's see. Hello, Grand Chess Amateur, welcome. No, I don't think I'll play variants again because I'll tell for a couple of reasons, but one of them is that a student called me out for it. A student called me out for it, that I was playing variants. Or, no, I think maybe it was the other way around. My student was playing variants, and so I told him not to do that. And then it's like, but you sometimes also play variants. So then I was like, well, I have to lead by example, so, you know, let's not do that anymore. And yeah, it's just better to just play real chess. Prediction for Jospin versus Sarana. I have full faith in our friend Jospin. Now let's see. Let's see. The Jospin. All right. Okay, let's do some predictions. Guys, let's do some predictions. All right, so let's pull up the World Cup. All right. All right, okay, so we see this here. I don't know if you guys can see it. We have some exciting matches now. All right. There we go. All right. Okay, what do we think? So first things first. Frederik Svane against Shant Sargishan. I'm gonna say Frederik Svane. The right side is cut off. Oh. All right. There we go. There we go. It's fixed now. All right. I'm gonna tell you guys my predictions. Frederik Svane against Shant Sargishan. I'm gonna say Svane, but feel free to participate in the chat. What do you guys think? I'm gonna say Svane. Then we have Yu Youngyi against Sindarov. Sindarov, by the way, beat my good friend Nick Ko. Unfortunately, Nick Ko is now out. He's traveling back home as we speak. Yu Youngyi against Sindarov. I'm going to say Sindarov. But by the way, they're as close as it gets in terms of rating. But I'm going to say Sindarov. Then we have Grandelius against Hari Krishna. I'm going to say Hari Krishna. No, that's fine. That's fine. Those. I'm going to say Hare Krishna. Sarana against Jospin. Obviously, we're rooting for our good friend Jospin. Let's see those emotes in the chat. Can we get some Jospin emotes in the chat? Come on. He's got his own emote here. So we're rooting for Jospin. Then Pranav against Yakuboyev. Tough. I'm going to say Yakuboyev. Then we have a Wonder versus Sargishan. I'm going to say a Wonder, definitely. All right, Pranav. Okay. Then we have... Dang! Karthik having the event of his life, eh? Is it 2580? He's at the last 32. That's amazing. But I'm going to say Lequang Liam. Definitely Lequang Liam. Or Liam Lei. Alright, then we have Bluebaum against Donchenko, the German matchup. I'm going to go with Bluebaum here. And then we have Prag against Dubov. This one is very close. Now, Prag is definitely the better player in Classical. But if Dubov manages to take the match to a tiebreak, Dubov is a very dangerous rapid and blitz player. This is my hot take. This is my hot take for the day, you guys. I'm gonna say Dubov. I'm gonna say Dubov will manage to survive in Classical, and he will win in rapid and blitz. I'm gonna say Dubov, but can really go either way. Then we have Shank against Rapport. gonna say report. Report. Okay, MVL against Grabnev. Definitely saying MVL. Then we have Esipenko against Keimer. Keimer has been playing pretty convincing chess so far. Then we have Wei Yi against Makhsudlu. Gonna say Wei Yi. But it's getting, the matches are getting really exciting. Sam Savian against Lodici. Lodici, by the way, also having the event of his life. But I'm gonna say Savian, because he's just a better player. Already this match here was very shaky by Lodici. Then we have Lavon against Wojtasek. Definitely saying Lavon. Lavon very strong. Lavon, by the way, he has won 2 World Cups. He won in 2017 and then I believe in like 2005? Something like that. And then we have Leko against Arjun. I mean, we all love Leko, but I'm gonna say Arjun. So, the last thing before we wrap up, let's see when they actually play again. Oh, tomorrow's a rest day. Tomorrow's a rest day. But anyway, we still wish our good friend Jospim good luck. So good luck to Jospim. If Jospim is watching, we believe in you, my friend. So that's going to be exciting. But the unfortunate thing is for me, I'm missing all of the matches because the time zone is just terrible. Like, I usually go to bed around this time and the matches are about to start in 3.5 hours. But yes, definitely. Okay, let's see for someone like Jospim, right? For Jospim, it's like he's got a real chance because Noterberg was the big guy in his bracket and he got rid of him. So let's say Jospim wins. If Jospim wins, he is playing. I can't tell. I think he's playing like Hari Krishna. He can beat that guy as well. And then after that, okay, after that it gets a little bit tougher. Maybe then like Sindarov. But Jospim could easily go very, very deep. Because he's a really good rapid and blitz player. Now, the thing though is that now he's facing off against Sorana. And Sorana also a really good rapid and blitz player. So this is a very, very even matchup. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how it goes. Anyway, guys, we are going to wrap up. So really appreciate everyone watching. Also appreciate everyone supporting the stream. Some people subscribed, really appreciate that, or supported the stream in other ways, or some people with rates and stuff. But for now, we're gonna wrap up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys, learned something. Make sure also to join the Discord. That is the best place to stay in touch while I'm offline. And yeah, that's it for today. Guys, today Daya would have turned 30. Unfortunately, he did not make it to 30. So yeah, we're gonna wrap up. Anyway, so yeah, rest in peace. Rest in peace to my good friend Daya. I consider myself fortunate that I was a good friend. Or, that he was a good friend, however you want to put it. All right. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap up. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Somebody is asking in the YouTube chat, would I give all of my chess achievements to win the World Chess Championship? I mean, okay, that's a very weird question. Okay, I don't get it. Whatever. All right, everyone. Have a good one. All right, sending you guys over to Minglei.